turn just for the TV people, if you don't mind, just looking in the middle, no matter who asks.
All right. Okay, sure.
How much do you cross on
So look, I'm glad the governor came to the city of Portland to learn more about what the state is doing right. The city is the best small city in America. We do so many things well. When you look at our education system, you look at higher wages, you look at a city where 50% of all of the GDP, everything in the state of Maine is made through this city, 50% of it. It's really, really remarkable. I'm glad he's here to appreciate it, to understand it, and to maybe bring some of the great things happening in the city of Portland back to Augusta and to some of its policies. Look, tonight the governor had so much misinformation. He doesn't even know that there's 186 of us in the legislature. He repeated that wrong. He repeated so many things that were just so incorrect. It's hard for me, or I'm sure anyone in the audience, to make sense of it or keep up with it. The governor has his beliefs. He is the chief executive. He needs to put out his policies that he believes in, and then the equal branch of government, the legislature, takes those policies and works them. If good ideas get through, whether it's a Republican, a Democrat, or a governor. So we look forward to working with him again when we get back in January. But we're not going to do it uncivilly. We're not going to call people's names. We're not going to call people out. We're not going to make things up. We're just going to do the work that people asked us to do. And we're going to do it together in the legislature and allow the governor to do whatever he wants to do, his own thing, and be the person that we saw tonight, angry, hostile, someone that really isn't bringing the state together at the city of Portland.
The governor used the word honesty a lot, and this just days after what had been called out from many legislators for actions he's taken over the years, his own honesty being called into question. What do you think about what's meant to say about that?
Look, the governor uses a lot of words because they poll very well. They bring out his base, which are very, very conservative voters and people that want to hear part of the story. The legislature's job is to tell the whole story, and that's what we do when we go up to Augusta to talk about bills, to talk about priorities, to talk about important legislation, and we'll continue to do that. That's Republicans, Democrats, and underrolls working together. We're an equal branch of government. We're going to work our tails off to get things done for the people of Maine. That's what they care about, not about kind of big words or choice words to create fear, hate, and and people who just want to take things apart, and that's what the governor does best.
He described Land for Maine's future as essentially a giveaway to landowners. Do you have any thoughts about that part of the conversation?
This is a program that is known throughout the country to all who want to conserve land, use land, want to use it well, and make sure that we have that private-public partnership so that people for generations, my children, their children, future children from all of the state and outside the state to come and use it. So the idea that the governor is picking, one or two projects and making some sort of example out of them is just so unfair, it's so untrue, and it doesn't reflect the will of the voters. People of Maine have voted for these bonds. They want them to be used. They want that money to conserve land, and it's unfortunate that the governor is misrepresenting so much of this program daily and on display tonight.
But I don't want the money wasted if the land is overvalued. That's his point. Go back to the table and figure out if each one of those bonds is going to result in a very high amount of waste or high profits for people. That's the concern.
I'd be more than happy to talk to you about just the actual process, how most of the people who are on Land for the Future are his appointees, that he appointed, that they approved all of those projects. So I'd be more than happy to talk to you about making sure that every taxpayer gets the value for every dollar that we put out for land.
So you're certain that all of that money that's going to be spent is not going to make people rich?
So you heard there's been some discussion in the last few days over zoning changes. Could you update us on what those discussions are?
So over the past weeks, the legislature has been meeting together and with the chief executive's team to talk about how we're going to have a comprehensive plan to deal with the drug crisis. And when we say comprehensive, it means treatment, it means prevention, it means enforcement. We are working together as a legislature to put a package together to make sure that we fund more drug agents, but we also make sure that we look at treatment and prevention. We know that it takes a three-pronged process. We know that we need to do it. We know we need to do it together. The governor, the legislature, we all are together on this, and we need to do it fast. So when we get back in January, it'll be something that we take up right away, get through the public process, make sure that everyone has the ability to look at these bills, weigh in on these bills, legislators and the public, and make sure that we do something to help, the drug crisis here in the state.
Is there support for 10 new agents?
There's no disagreement that we need more agents. What I think needs to happen in the process is making sure that we have treatment and also prevention in this, and that's what the details are being worked out between legislative leaders right now.
He's putting his running line 10 agents.
It will happen. It will happen, and we look forward to agents, treatment, and prevention being priorities in order to combat this awful, awful crisis affecting the entire state.
The governor seemed to undermine the treatment tonight almost. Do you think that's going to be an obstacle in getting that along with the agents?
The governor is an equal branch of government. He can take whatever bill we pass and veto it. We are working very hard to make sure that Republicans, Democrats, unenrolled, all understand why we're taking this first step. It's only a first step. We have 5 or 6 other bills that we need to work on together, and I'm sure there could be after deadline bills to continue working on this drug crisis. So whatever the governor thinks about treatment, he'll have an opportunity to weigh in with his veto pen. We need to put the best practices out there to help people and their families, and treatment we know is part of it, and we know that prevention and education is a big part of it.
Thank you.